Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to our 5-day total wellness reset. This is day 3. We are about halfway through, so I am so curious what you've thought of the journey so far, and are you getting good value out of this experience? Our first day was all about grounding and nourishing our nervous system through breath and awareness. And then yesterday, we talked about the water elements and emotional regulation. We use a tool called EFT tapping to help regulate emotions and approach our experience with love and non judgment. And today we will be talking about the element of fire. And namely, we'll talk about our digestion and discipline because those two things are represented by the fire element and are really a core to our practice. And then we'll do a Kapalabati Pranayama or a breath of fire to help stimulate our bodies and give us more energy and do it naturally. So I hope you'll stick around to the end of this video so that you can practice with me for our Kapalabati Pranayama. But before we get into that, I want to hear from you. How is this experience landing? Are you loving the information? Is there anything you feel like you want to dive deeper into, or maybe some new concepts you've never thought of before or talked about before? All that feedback really helps me to be a better teacher and meet you where you're at, right? That's what I'm here for. I'm here to support. So I'm happy to hear from you. And I hope you're using the resources in the Unify Mind Body Wellness app. There's a community there filled with driven women who are on the path to better health, just like you. So you can share in there as well. You can comment, you can post pictures, you can talk about what you're working on. The app is filled with resources like support through nutrition, personalized workouts depending on what level of programming you have, what membership you've bought into. And there are some pre-recorded yoga and meditation practices. So I really hope that you're able to find what you're looking for inside the app, because there's a lot of good stuff there. So let's talk a little bit about fire today. I'm going to start by talking a little bit about digestion, and we'll use some concepts from Ayurvedic wisdom. Ayurveda is a holistic practice that has been around longer than written history. Some say 3,000 years, some say 5,000 years, 6,000 years ago. People were practicing Ayurveda before they were writing down in history. And so Ayurveda has been around so long, but it's still relevant today because it helps each individual better understand their body and what it takes to create balance. Because it's so old, it's often a natural or a holistic practice, meaning we want to prevent imbalances, we want to prevent disease or the symptoms of disease like bloating, gas, insomnia, acne, headaches, etc., etc., etc. We want to prevent those before they even start. So Ayurveda can be adopted into your practice now and in the future. And the sooner that you start, the more benefit you'll see because you'll be able to prevent yourself from getting sick during the holidays or feeling burnt out and overwhelmed and overstimulated at your job or your relationship or as a parent. It's why I choose to practice Ayurveda, because it complements so many other practices that we're already doing, right? If you're already doing yoga, meditation, mindfulness, reading books, self-care, going for walks, exercising, cooking food at home, whatever you're already doing, Ayurveda is just simply going to support that and make it so much more meaningful. I found Ayurveda when I was really struggling with chronic pain. I was in my late teens. I was 17, 18, 19. And every time I would go to the doctor, I would hear the conversation of, well, Mickey, you're young, you're healthy, your lab results are coming back normal. Keep doing what you're doing. It'll be fine. And I would leave feeling so discouraged because I had gone to the doctor looking for answers and left feeling invalidated and with no support, really. And so Ayurveda became a practice that I could bring into my daily life at home that helped to support and manage my chronic pain without needing a doctor or a prescription or another surgery or another assessment or lab test. And although the practices can be subtle, right? We don't have this magical, sparkling perfection happening right away. Um, I was able to manage my pain, and I am living a much more healthy and fulfilled life now, thanks to this practice of Ayurveda. So, I don't want to spend too much time talking about Ayurveda because it is such a huge concept. It is a medical system in other parts of the world. I myself am a holistic health coach, meaning I have my first level of certification, but I'm not a doctor. I can't prescribe, I can't treat anyone's conditions using Ayurveda. I can simply tell them about the practice, offer some suggestions, and help them better understand where they're at and how Ayurveda could help address certain symptoms and conditions. With all that being said, it's such a huge body of knowledge that I wouldn't do it justice if I tried to explain it all today. But I do want to define the term so it might help to make a little bit more sense. So the word Ayurveda comes from two Sanskrit root words, Aya, meaning science, and Ayur, meaning life and what we know to be our existence, and Veda, meaning science or knowledge. So maybe you've heard about the Vedas, these great ancient texts filled with a wealth of knowledge from anything in our mind, our body, our yoga practice, spirituality, and beyond. And so Ayurveda is the science of this life that we live. And it offers us tools to create balance in our practice through intentional daily actions. And I say all this because when we talk about the fire element and we talk about digestion, Ayurveda recognizes our digestion as Agni. It's thought of as our digestive fire. So let's just sit for a minute and begin to visualize a flame. Maybe you have a favorite candle, or you've recently sat by the fireside, and you can see before you this beautiful glowing flame. You can feel the heat radiating off this flame, and you can see the fuel that is burning for this fire. And our digestion is similar. The fuel for the fire is the food that we put into it. And the flame for the fire in our own body is our body's ability to break down and reabsorb the nutrients that we feed ourselves. So you can imagine that when you feed a fire with good fuel, some dry branches, some dry leaves, newspaper, that fire grows brighter. It burns clean. The smoke from that flame has a woody, hickory, sort of outdoorsy campfire smell to it. Or maybe the candle smells delicious with that essential oil flavor. And conversely, if we were to throw metal, trash, rubber, something yucky into the fire, we would smell it. We would see the fire struggle to break it down. And our body is the same. When we put good, nourishing food into our body, it helps strengthen our digestive fire. We're able to break that food down and reabsorb it into the body. So we're getting all the vitamins, the minerals, the micronutrients and phytonutrients, and the good essence from the food that we need to thrive. And when we feed our body with crap, with processed food, refined sugars, when we're eating without thinking critically about what we're putting into our body, and we're maybe just binging on our emotions or feeling out of sorts and eating for comfort, that dampens and diminishes our natural fire within us. It makes it harder for the body to process food, reabsorb food, and to thrive. So this leads us to the discussion of discipline. Discipline is a practice of withstanding the pleasures in the moment, right? Withstanding from doing something now so that later you can feel the benefit, right? Knowing that right now we have to do a little bit more work so that in the future we can benefit from that progress that we're making. And I think food is a really great example of this because of our cravings and our hunger and our fullness. Every single day, we're presented with the opportunity to eat. Every single day, you will get hungry, right? And you can only go so long without eating before you become uncomfortable or ill. And so, food is a great way to practice our discipline and notice how this discipline affects our fire. When I talk about fire too, I want you to think about your energy and your energetic reserves. When we eat good food, we boost up our energy, we feel more alive, we're ready to go hit the gym or hit the trails or play with our kiddo. And so it gives us energy. But when we eat something yucky and it's sitting in our stomach, we're feeling bloated, we're just feeling uncomfortable in our skin, maybe that food is heavy and it's just staying stuck in the system. That pulls away from the energy that we could be using elsewhere to enjoy our life. So, discipline in our food can impact so many other areas of our life that I think it's essential to talk about. In the Yoga Eightfold Path, there's a principle called tapas. And tapas kind of helps us to use this discipline. It talks about how we put effort in for a desired result, but sometimes that result doesn't come right away. And we have to be strong and think critically so that we can withstand the temptations, the cravings, whatever is right in front of us, knowing that beyond that urge, beyond that craving, there's a benefit to waiting, to sitting with the hard emotion and becoming a little bit stronger in our resolve. So, fire is an amazing element to begin playing with. You might think about how to incorporate fire back into your life. Right now, where I'm living, it is so cold. This morning, it was like 24 degrees outside, and everything was covered in these crystallized dewdrops, right? This amazing, almost like snow, but it hadn't snowed. Everything was just white and crispy. So I've turned on my fireplace. I'm enjoying the heat from the flames, and I'm enjoying this cozy comfort of staying in and staying away from the cold wind outside. So you might be in a different season where you're at when you're watching this video on a replay, and that's okay. You can still incorporate fire by burning incense or lighting a candle and just meditating on the flickering flame. You might also use our breathwork practice to encourage that fire and energy within you. So let's talk about Kapalabati. Kapalabati is often called the breath of fire. What we will do is we will stimulate our digestion through breathing and will help to increase energy in our body through the breath, the intentional breath. So Kapalabati Pranayama is an intentional pumping and pulsing of the diaphragm to help stimulate our energy, improve our digestion, and leave us feeling cleansed and purified, just like burning away impurities from a fire. So for this practice, I'm going to raise up my shirt a little bit so you can kind of see what's going on. I want you to see it first and then we'll practice it together. So I might even turn to the side here just so you can kind of see what's going on. First, we're just going to relax our tummy. Sometimes, at least for me, I hold my tummy in throughout the day. I just don't want to take up too much space. It's something I'm working on. So we're going to relax the diaphragm first. I'll have you bring a hand down here, right around your navel center, maybe where a baby would live or just below your belly button. And then I want you to practice pulling that space in and then relaxing it out, pulling it in and relaxing it out. Good. It is mind muscle control, so it might take some practice to get the rhythm down. I'm doing it while I'm talking. Thankfully, you don't have to do that. And then we'll start to link the pulling of the diaphragm in with the exhale breath. So as you exhale, you'll draw your navel in towards your center. And you might even think about making a little J shape as you pull the navel in and then gently tug it upwards. This helps our spine to stay lengthened and kind of cradles the internal organs. So let's practice a little bit, play with the movement. Maybe make some audible exhales, right? Good, now I can put my clothes back on. Let's find a comfortable seat. We'll practice 3 rounds of our Kapalabati breath. 3 rounds meaning we'll breathe for about 20 rounds, pumping the diaphragm. We'll take a big inhale at the end and we'll kind of hold that energy and breath as long as we can. And then we'll slowly release our breath. That'll be the end of 1 round, and we'll go right into the next round and the next round. So I'm going to guide as best as I can. I'll do a lot of talking in the initial round to really get us going, and then you'll kind of hear my voice fade away, and that will be your opportunity to start practicing and moving inwards. So let's take a cleansing breath in and out. I invite you to close your eyes just for now and let your body settle. Without changing the breath, just observe the sound that it makes. On your next big inhale, sit a little taller. And then as you exhale, open your mouth and push the air out until it makes noise. Feel the navel pull to center. Inhale, feel the expansion of the belly. And then exhale, make some noise. Good. Take a big breath. Let it go. And then bring a hand to your navel center. Cradle the navel as you relax and let the belly expand. Let's begin our Kapalabati breath, breathing out and exhaling as we pump our diaphragm for 20 breaths. We're about halfway. Keep pumping the breath. Give yourself enough time to inhale in between without losing your rhythm. We've got 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Big inhale. All the way up. Sip in more breath to fill the top of your lungs and hold. Hold, hold, hold. Let it out nice and slow. Good. Breathe in. And begin. Halfway there. 3, 2, 1. Big inhale. Up, up, up. Hold and relax. Shoulders, neck, jaw. Hold, hold, hold as long as you can. When you need to, release. Last round, we're going to add another layer. Bring your arms up and away from you with your thumbs pointed towards the space above your head. Take a big inhale and begin. Three. Big breath in. Bring the thumbs together. Hold, 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 hold. As you exhale, open your hands. Slowly release the air. Bring your arms down. Pause. Notice. Honor the subtle shifts within you. And know that you can call upon the element of fire whenever you need to cleanse, purify, or enliven your daily practice. I'll be sharing many more videos like this on my YouTube channel, Mindfulness with Mickey. So be sure to check it out for more guided breathwork and meditation practices. I hope that this conversation about fire has been helpful, and let's continue the conversation in the Unify Mind Body Wellness app community. I cannot wait to see you for our next call tomorrow, we will be discussing wind and doing some guided meditation to unlock our intuitive gifts. So until next time, may you be well.